And we are here with another virtual Cardinals Nest. I'm Dean Beckman, the faculty athletics representative for St. Mary's. Donny Nadeau is our sports information director. And Donny, you're in your lounge chair out in center field at Max Moloch Field, aren't you?
Yeah, and there's nobody here. It's a beautiful day. Should be playing too.
Yes, we should be. You are right about that. We've got Nick Winecke, our head baseball coach, joining us on this virtual Cardinals Nest. And Nick, I think your players will appreciate knowing that you are a true utility player, aren't you, today?
Yeah, as you can kind of see around, my temporary office is in the utility room in my house. So if you hear the water heater kick on or the furnace kick on, you know what's going on. I got my stationary bike behind me. Yeah, just like everybody, adjusting as best as we can.
Yeah, we do what we have to do.
What's that?
Where's your assistant?
My assistant, he's probably trying to figure out how we're going to recruit the 2021 class off of video.
So no, I meant the youngster. My
assistant, my office assistant. Yeah, Addison. Yeah, she's probably someplace telling my wife that I'm doing whatever I'm doing wrong. So that's usually how my day goes.
Well, Nick, of course, the reason we're doing this over Zoom instead of in the studios at HBC is because of the situation that every school is finding itself in. But I know you had to have been particularly disappointed that the spring sports season had to get canceled because, your St. Mary's baseball team had a lot of big aspirations this year. You had a great spring break trip down to Florida, and unfortunately, you're going to be unable to sort of realize things this year. So just kind of give us your perspective on when you kind of found all of this out and it kind of became increasingly evident what was going to happen.
Yeah, I think first and foremost is just trying to keep a larger scale perspective on it all. Understanding that, we were very, very disappointed, saddened by the opportunity not to be able to get a chance to go out and play our season. But at the same point, we also know that there's bigger things going on. So I think that's really, really important. So I think that's first and foremost is that we want everybody to stay as safe as they possibly can. And hopefully I know that we'll be able to get through this. When it comes to the team, it's crazy to think we came back early morning on Monday. By Wednesday, the realization that something could happen, a pause in the season, a delay in it. Then came Thursday when it started to look like, hey, we got a 90% chance of getting this thing canceled, to Friday at noon when I had to tell the guys that the season's officially canceled. Here is a trash bag. We got to clean our locker room because they're deep cleaning it in 2 hours. And by the way, you need to pack up your stuff and you need to head home ASAP. So needless to say, from 12 to 12:30 in the afternoon, there was a lot of emotions, and it's just unfortunate, obviously. But like I told the guys when we left, nobody can take away the lessons that we learned, the friendships that were made over the course of the season. Obviously, very excited by the NCAA granting a year of eligibility for all players, and then more so, especially that our presidents came through and granted the opportunity for the graduating seniors to either continue to be able to play while getting a graduate degree or pick up a second major. So I thought our presidents just did a wonderful job in leadership, giving our student athletes the opportunity if they want to be able to take it. So I think that's kind of where we're at. And it's a great group. And I know we got a lot of guys looking forward to next year. And so, yeah, it's a tough situation, but you try to keep perspective because I think people are having a very difficult time dealing with the health aspect of it, and the mental health aspect of it too, is being at home as well. So just trying to keep big perspective.
Nick, what kind of challenges are you finding trying to make sure to keep your athletes doing whatever they can do to stay healthy? And then as you kind of joked before, how are you preparing for the 2020 recruiting class when nobody's playing ball?
Yeah, I think first is just staying in contact with our guys. We've had some individual calls with everybody trying to recap. Just our guys just completed a Google survey, kind of just an end of a year survey, asking a lot of different questions to see if there's anything there that pops up that I need to circle back with them. We'll be doing a team Zoom meeting here next week. Our 2020 class has been kind of wrapped up here over the last 2 months, to be honest with you. We have 20 freshmen coming in next year. We actually have a Zoom meeting with all those guys on Saturday just to be able to put all, so they can kind of know. They didn't get an opportunity. Usually in the spring, we have a lot of guys come back down for overnight visits to stay with our guys, and they get to know, chance to know them. So just trying to piece everything together as best as we can. Just try to be there for them. The physical part, I think all the guys, the physical part, I think is the easy part right now because they're bored. So they're going out for runs. They're trying to be creative and things they can do in their backyards. The mental health part, I think, is a real part of this. I think it's an adjustment that all of us are trying to be able to make. So I think just being aware and being on top and having conversations, staying in contact with them. For the 2021 recruiting, I have no idea. Is there going to be a high school season? Is there going to be a summer season? I have no idea. So I think our coaching staff right now is doing a good job of thinking of all the possibilities. What are our options? Luckily for us, there's a lot that can be done on video, but unfortunately, video doesn't tell the whole story. It just tells the story that you want people to see. So I think just like everybody, we're adjusting and communicating the best we can.
Nick, I'm curious with the opportunity for some players, if they choose to come back and get a second degree or a graduate degree and still have that year of eligibility left. If you have any idea, how many of your players might be considering that, obviously nothing guaranteed at this point, but might be considering it. And how does that impact the freshman class and the roster size and all of that? So if you could speak to that.
Yeah, I think it's very unique. Like I said, it started with our compliance officers agreeing to it, passing on to the athletic directors, and then our presidents. I thought our president's leadership was an anonymous vote to 100% pass this to be able to either do a graduate school or pick up a second major. And I was just really, really impressed with our presidents, how well they did that. And then for us, we graduated 10. I think 3 guys are pretty gung-ho on going out and starting their career. A couple of them have some great opportunities, which we fully support. And then I think there's 7 guys, 2 of which are thinking about maybe doing the undergrad part of it. And then the other guys think about doing the grad school part. So realistically, we could have up to 7 guys coming back or no guys. But I think it's just a really tight-knit senior group that wants to kind of feel like they're cheated a little bit. But they also like the idea of the grad school part of it. So we're excited for that. When it comes to managing the roster, I think everybody understands right now that this is uncharted territory. So I think it's a fluid situation. I don't have all the answers. Our coaching staff doesn't have all the answers. We'll know a little more as we get going when it comes down to crunch time if the quote-unquote fifth-year guys are going to be coming back. But right now I'm kind of the feel is it that I think it's very much a reality, which is a great thing for our program, and that's why that opportunity is there for them to do it. And then we'll go from there. It's actually a conversation I had with the guys that are looking to come back, and one of the things I told them is that I know you guys understand this, but I have to say it anyways, is that you still got to earn your spots and you still got to earn playing time. One of the things that we talk about in our program all the time is roles or starting jobs or whatever it is in our program. Those things are rented, not owned, meaning you got to earn it every single day. Nothing's given to you. And I told those guys, you come back for a graduate program, it doesn't mean you start every game. If you go 0 for 13, you might not be in the lineup. And it's the same way we run the program. So no matter if it's a fifth-year guy coming back or a freshman that's 18 years old with stubbles on their face because they look like they're 14, if they're the best guy, they're going to play. And that's the way we run it, and that's the way we always run it.
I know it's a challenge, and you hinted on it a little bit, Coach. If you had 7 guys come back, as you recruit, you kind of have an idea of the numbers that you want bringing in each class. If you bring 7 back that would have graduated, you've got a big junior class. You could have 17 guys that graduate next year. How does that affect your recruiting as you move forward when you and TJ are recruiting? Because you're going to have a big gap where there's going to be a huge class.
Yeah, we got a small, going to be a sophomore class, so a small freshman class for our standards. So we kind of went over the top with a big class. We don't look at the numbers. I don't get married to the number part of it. One thing we look at, we get married to the skill part of it. There's a couple big things we look for right away. Hey, number 1, you got to be a good person. Number 2, you got to be a great teammate. If you can't do those 2 things, then this is not the place for you. And then from there, the skill has to make sense. We're we're very excited about the freshman class we got coming in. I think they're super talented. Yeah, we're going to have some tough decisions. We're going to have to manage this roster a little bit, but we also have to protect it for the future. So, yeah, there's going to be some creativity in what we're going to have to do next year. But my biggest thing is let's just go one thing at a time. Let's figure out what these fifth-year seniors, what do they need from a support standpoint. Like I told them, I'm going to support them no matter what they do. If they decide to come back, we're here. If they don't, I completely understand. It's not my decision to make. It's their decision. It's my job to support them and give them information. And then from there, we're going to manage it. But I think the way you manage it is the way you do it all the time. You're upfront, you're honest, and you play the best guy.
I think, would like to definitely give a shout out to one of your players who I think started something very creative and hopefully gains a lot of traction on Twitter. And that's Tommy Hill with the Student Advisory Council doing the teepee challenge. Now, I'm still not sure why he ever included me in displaying my sport talents with toilet paper, but what a great idea, and kind of shows, that your guys are looking to step outside the box a little bit, have a little fun. You're all cooped up, and I think that he really did a great job with that, and I hope that it gains a lot of traction and people have a lot of fun with it. Yeah,
I think Tommy did a good job. It's amazing when you get stuck in the house, your brain works a little bit, sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a bad thing. I think for me, it just creates more work for you, Donnie, honestly. So, but no, I thought what Tommy did is a really cool thing. It's a fun thing. The chatter from our guys on our group me was pretty entertaining. They were razzing them a little bit. So I think that's fun. I think it's a huge part. One of the biggest things that I heard from talking with our players individually is they just miss each other. Honestly, like they just feel like everything went by like super fast and they're here and they're gone. Like I said, we met with them at noon. By 1 o'clock, they had to have their lockers clean and either go to class or they're packing up their dorms to head home. So it's just how fast it went. You didn't really get a chance to say goodbye to people, so to say. Thank the Lord for great technology. But I thought what Tommy did in the traction is awful fun in a time that sometimes can be really difficult.
Right.
Nick, what would you say you've learned the most about yourself and your family in your time at home here?
Well, I have a 3-year-old and a 7-month-old. So I've learned how to have Zoom meetings with the 7-month-old strapped in front of me, bouncing through the house. I learned that my 3-year-old is extremely intelligent and she has no problem telling me when I screw up. So that happens on a very high basis throughout the day. One of the things I learned about me is that I have way more patience than I thought I'd have with being home, and I'm not used to being home this time of year. So, and the other part is really just trying to keep great perspective on it. I think I told my wife this about a week ago. Fear and faith believe in the same thing, and that is something that is yet to happen. So I'm not going to allow the fear of what could be or what's going to happen get in my way. I'm going to have faith that, number one, that everybody's going to be able to get through this, and we're going to make the best of a tough situation. You can look at things as a gift or a curse. So the fact that I've been able to be at home with my family as much as I have been this time of year, and also be able to be at home with my 2 girls as my wife still goes into work being a physical therapist. So multitasking, answering emails during lunch, answering emails when people are taking naps, and just doing the best we can. So just looking at it as more of a gift than a curse right now, honestly.
Yep. And still doing the Cardinals Nest too.
Yeah, right. So like I joked before we went live here, this is the first kind of adult interaction that I've had in a while. So I've been pretty excited for this date. So
all right, Nick Winecke, our head baseball coach, thanks for being on today.
For sure, guys. Thank you.
Have a good one.
All right.
See ya.
All right. Thanks for watching the Cardinals Nest.